Welcome. welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Leadership Standard. I'm your host, Buchilo, and thank you all for being here today. Let's begin the countdown. Alrighty, welcome to another episode of the Leadership Standard. As it is customary, we're going to do a mic check. All right, the mic check sounds perfect. We're good to go. Thank you all for being a part of today's show of the Leadership Standard. My name is Buchi Law. I am your host, and I'm going to be discussing the expansion of ISIS in West Africa. All right, welcome. So ISIS is expanding in West Africa. Who would have thought? I want to share the story. Let's look at this. ISIS expanding in Nigeria and other African countries despite their leaders' deaths. United Nations warns. The United Nations Office of Counterterrorism has warned that the Islamic State of Iraq and Levant, a terrorist group, is expanding its affiliates and network beyond Syria and Iraq. So as you can see, there is an expansion going on where the people are trying to take over. The ISIS actually are moving towards taking over Nigeria as well as taking over other African countries. So, this is happening right in our faces. We're not going to act like we're not seeing these things. We're not going to act like this is not available. This is happening right in our faces. ISIS is expanding in Nigeria. They are coming down south. They're coming down. And again, we have to look at it. Look at what ISWAP is doing. Look at what Boko Haram is doing in Nigeria. Nigeria has not even been able to solve the problem of Boko Haram. Boko Haram has been a decade-long problem. People have been going on for so long in this problem, and no one has been able to solve the problem. Now, imagine a situation where there is now ISIS in Nigeria, and that's exactly what's going on. And that's the reason why we're bringing this information out there to let the world know that there is a big problem going on in Nigeria, whereby and it's going to be a very catastrophic issue. It's going to be a situation where, if care is not taken, lives will be lost. And lives are being lost even as we speak currently. A lot of people's lives are being lost. People are being killed. People are being killed. People are being taken advantage over because of the failure of leadership. The reason why they are expanding to Africa and Nigeria is because the government of Nigeria is supporting this takeover by the terrorist group. The government of Nigeria is supporting it. They're supporting this expansion. They want this expansion to occur. They want it to happen. And this is what's happening right now. So if care is not taken, if people continue to act like they are blind to the situation, the expansion is going to happen right in your faces. You see what I'm saying? The expansion is going to happen right in your faces. ISIS is coming down. They're coming down. This prediction has been said a long time ago that ISIS will be moving down to Nigeria, to other African countries, and they would take over these African countries. ISIS would take over these countries because of the failure of government. You see, ISIS cannot go take over Dubai. They cannot go and take over America. Do you know why? Because America has protected its borders. America has secured its borders. ISIS can never take over Russia or places like that because Russia has protected its borders. ISIS can never take over China because China has protected its borders. ISIS cannot take over France because France has protected its borders. They can have a situation whereby there can be an attack, but they can never take over it. But now, as you can see, from what's happening, ISIS will be having a foothold because they have the capacity, if you ask me, to take over places like Nigeria if care is not taken. And of course, it is not my wish that this happens. But again, this is what the prediction is saying, that they're expanding in Nigeria and other African countries. Even though their leader is dead, they are still gaining ground. These people have so much armory, they have so much money, they have so much connections. People pay money to support these types of people. People are paying them lots of money. They even have their own bank where they are supported, where they have the funds to carry out these attacks that they're doing. So the point I'm trying to make in essence is, if you can see what's going on and if you understand it clearly, you will know that the government of, whether it's the government of Nigeria or even the government of any of these African countries, they do not have the capacity to stop this rise of terrorism coming towards, towards the west of Africa. What army would they use? The army is stretched. They don't have enough army. They don't have enough army capacity. We have seen how the Boko Haram has been terrorizing even the army. They kill the army. They kill all these people. They don't even play. And it's so bad because again, it's like the government is fighting too many battles that they cannot even win. Now, not to talk of ISIS coming down to Nigeria. If you know what ISIS is, you'll know that these people are a very deadly group. A very wicked and deadly group. So I don't know what to say, man, but this is bad. This is terrible. This is a terrible, terrible news. ISIS is coming down to Nigeria. Are you ready for that? Alrighty. So we're going to be going now to the next story. I'm going to be going to the next story, but I want you to put in your comments. Please tell me, what do you think is going on? What do you think the government can do? Whether it's the government of wherever you are, what do you think the government can do to make this situation better? If you think and if you know what to do, the government can do, please let us know. We'd like to know in the comment section. So I want to share another story. This is a story that is, this story goes back to the other story I was talking about. This is a story where the federal government is responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria. You can see what I'm talking about. The federal government is responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria. This is being said by the governor himself of Benue State. They're letting you know, because when they say insecurity, what that means is simply is terrorism. The federal government is responsible for the terrorism in Nigeria. It's as simple as that. If you guys are not using your head, let me tell you now, this is exactly what's happening. The reason why you people are dying is because the federal government is supporting the death of its own citizens. How? You can see the Benue State governor has been saying this a long time ago. And the federal government is responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria. You cannot tell me otherwise, because they know that because when there's a failure of leadership, then they will now be able to move in. But this is one of the things I want to just let you guys know, that the federal government of Nigeria is responsible for insecurity in Nigeria. All right. We're going to take a short break right now, and we'll be coming back. Yep. As you can see, the federal government is responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria. As simple as that. There is nothing you can tell me. The federal government is responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria. There's nothing anybody else can tell me. And this is the truth. This is exactly the truth. The federal government is responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria, and they have all the tools that are available to do what they are doing to carry out this insecurity in Nigeria. They have all the tools available. Everything that they have is laid down. They already have all these things. And this is what the Benue State governor is saying, that the federal government is to be blamed for the rate of insecurity in the country. They are to be blamed. Leadership must start from the top. If there is a failure of leadership, the people that must be responsible are the people on top. Because if you want to become a leader, you must be ready to face criticism. You must be ready to face backlash. You cannot say you want to be a leader and not have the capacity to fake criticism or to take criticism. And this is what it is. The federal government is responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria. As simple as that. And that's what the Benue State governor is telling the Nigerians, that if they want to blame, if they're looking for who to blame for the insecurity, then they have to blame the federal government. Now, this is another interesting story I want us to talk about. The hush puppy case. The federal government and the US, they are discussing the extradition of Abba Kyari. The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, mentioned. The Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, has said that the United States government and the Nigerian government are discussing the possible extradition of Abba Kyari. Abba Kyari is an alleged suspect that cooperated with Hush Puppy in money laundering. And he's also a police officer that was supposedly meant to be a super cop, but from what indications, it looks like he was a super fraud. A super fraud. Parading himself as a super cop. You know, and only God will disgrace and unveil the wickedness of this man. But I'm happy that at least this Hush Puppy case will let the world know the kind of person he is. A super fraud. So this is another story of the federal government importing 300 million liters of petrol to address the fuel shortage. This is how clueless leadership is. Whenever you see leadership as clueless as this, it can never be anywhere else but, obviously, Nigeria. How does a government import 300 liters of petrol? How do you import petrol when you are one of the largest producers of petrol in that country? How do you go about importing petrol? That can tell you how clueless this leadership is. Any leadership that is as clueless as this is a leadership that must be flushed down the. People are suffering, stranded, trying to get fuel, confused. But rather than the government that produces fuel to find out ways to store fuel for times like this, they are rather importing fuel again. Why would you be importing something that you are producing? Sometimes whenever I think about how clueless this government of Nigeria is, as well as some of the governments of Africa, I'm I'm worried, because these people are so clueless. They don't have any idea of the future, of how to project a country or even a country forward. Be this clueless? How can you be so clueless that you don't know that the people that are producing fuel in your own country, you guys cannot store your fuel? Rather, you are importing 300 liters of fuel to address a supposed fuel shortage. How clueless can you be? That's the question we have to ask. It's a very clueless government. Very clueless government. Coupled with the contamination of fuel, that people are buying fuel and their cars are spoiling because the government is giving them contaminated fuel and nobody is talking about these things. And people just suffer and smile. And that's the reason why today the government of Africa must put its head under the ground and be ashamed of itself for failing the people everywhere. It's failing the people on all sectors. On every sector, the government keeps failing the people. And this is something that needs to be talked about. Well, thank you everybody for being a part of my show today. I just wanted to just make this very brief. And thank you everybody for coming. Do have a wonderful Thursday. God bless you.